No sign of change on the horizon. I am that change on the horizon, my friend. This is your first Indian Jesus stream. I am telling you, this is your powerful moment.
Let's talk a little bit about the criminal cases.
Okay.
In particular, I'm interested in the obstruction case. The obstruction. Some argue that, criminal or not, you behaved irresponsibly with our national security documents. For example, we've all now heard the audio tape of you, post-presidency, showing third parties some sort of document that you're describing as secret. Allegedly, it was a Department of Defense Mark Milley plan to attack Iran. Now, this was at a meeting right here at Bedminster, where we are now. You later told Bret Baier in an interview that you had no document that day, only newspapers and magazines. But we hear you on the tape. We hear you saying, quote, look, this was him. This was the Defense Department and him. It's highly confidential. This is secret. This was done by the military and given to me. As president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't. This is still a secret. Now, why would you describe a newspaper article as highly confidential and still a secret, saying as president you could have declassified it, but now you can't?
Let me just tell you something.
All right.
Number one, I did nothing wrong because I come under the Presidential Records Act. The fascists who are going after me, and they're not going after Biden, even though he has about 10 times more documents, maybe more than that. He has documents going back 40 years or 50 years. We did nothing wrong. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to have these documents. This was done in 1978, and this was done for exactly this reason. I'm allowed to have these documents. The other side didn't even mention that. They don't even mention the words Presidential Records Act. The Presidential Records Act is very important. Bill Clinton took out in his socks, it's called the Sox case.
I'm familiar.
Where
the Sox case. Black T said, if 81 million votes, perhaps the solution is to vote blue and wait for Americans to learn their lesson. Maybe the pain is not obvious for people starting to start to use their brain. We will see next election. That is scary. That is terrifying to think that it is so bad that we need to drive ourselves further into the darkness to see anything changing. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think if we look at things like the fact that Trump is being taken seriously, we think if we look at things like Bud Light, if we look at things like Target, if we look at things like Oliver Anthony, that there is a space where there wasn't before, a space for this I don't even want to say anti-establishment, but non-establishment thinking. And that's all we need. That's all we need is more of that. As long as that is celebrated and as long as that is organically picked up and appreciated by people, then we're on the right track. We're on the right track. Unwanted disagrees and says Black Tea is kind of right. Just take a look at the current education system, especially in big cities. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. But you know, I still believe we can change things. We can change things. All right, the Sox case.
It is very important. Bill Clinton took out in his socks, it's called the Sox case.
I'm familiar.
Where a very respected judge, very liberal judge, but a very respected judge, ruled in favor of Bill Clinton that he was allowed to take these very important documents, conversations with world leaders, took it out in his socks, and they found them in his sock drawer, and they call it the Sox case. Other people too. We come under the Presidential Records Act. Now, who doesn't is Mike Pence doesn't, because he was a vice president, and he has a much higher standard.
What about Hillary Clinton? Because I remember voting for her, unfortunately, but I don't remember her being the president. Something about emails or something. I don't know.
Joe Biden doesn't, because he was a vice president at the time and he was a senator. He's got thousands of documents as a senator. And even I watched a couple of Democrat senators say very strongly, there's no way he took that out from the SCIF. He's got documents and he's fighting them like crazy. I come under the Presidential Records Act. It's a very simple thing. Number one, it's civil. It's not criminal at all. True. These fascists and these Marxists and these people that are dealing, and they leak and they're disgusting people. They're horrible for the country. We have a deranged guy named Jack Smith who's been overturned at the Supreme Court a number of times.
So Black T is not with me. So we have anti-Bud Light and MAGA, but we have the civil rights communists, the corrupt institutions, and the never Trumpers. I was a never Trumper. So I mean, saying no change, no sign of change on the horizon. I am that change on the horizon, my friend. Waiting for a powerful moment. This is your first Indian Jesus stream. I am telling you, this is your powerful moment. This is the start of the fix of political discourse in America. Congratulations, Black T. You have found that change on the horizon. Congratulations to you. Yeah, I used to be one of those donuts. And we just learn. We just take in new information. We understand where we've made mistakes. And we fix it.
And he gets overturned. You know why he gets overturned? Because he goes too far. They don't even mention the Presidential Records Act. This is all about the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to have these documents. I'm allowed to take these documents, classified or not classified. And frankly, when I have them, they become unclassified. People think you have to go through a ritual. You don't. At least in my opinion, you don't. But it's
in my opinion, I believe he is. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of this. The record, that kind of stuff. I don't care about. They're all doing it. It's not anything that's really affecting America. So whatever.
Even beyond that, because the Presidential Records Act allows you to do as president, only as president. Now, the other people that we talk about, including Biden, he wasn't president. So what he did is a different standard, and he should have real problems. They really should be talking about that, not about me.
So Black T says, can you say the same change occurred to your entourage? I don't have an entourage. My boss is a donut. My college buddies were donuts. The brainwashing is deep. So I would say that I was a donut because I didn't. I was on the outside. And so, the people here know the story very well. But I was in college, and there was a bunch of Black people who in a private school where there was, most people were there for either the business school or the D1 basketball basketball team. So you could kind of tell whether somebody was there for business or there for basketball. Call it racist. It is what it is. There's a bunch of Black people, in the middle of the night in the courtyard. I'm walking back from my friend's dorm to my dorm. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's a random Tuesday night. Turns out that was the night that Obama got elected, and I just had no idea. First Black president, and I had no idea. That's how outside of all of this I was. So then, still outside of everything. And, the next election's coming up. And so I'm like, all right, let me pay attention. So I start watching the news. I think let me be informed. And so I'm thinking, I'm a liberal. I'm a Bernie bro. This time I was a Bernie bro. And let me not just watch MSNBC to hear what I like. Let me also watch Fox News and CNN, and then I'll get a real picture of what's going on in America. Obviously, in hindsight, that was not the case. But I thought it was. And so I was brainwashed into thinking that despite being a Bernie bro, when they fucked him over, that if I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, then he would win and the world would end. And then he won and the world didn't end. And so now I was like, oh, they're lying. Don't trust people who lie. So then when it comes, fast forward to Fauci, ask me why I care so much about people who are lying. Yeah, shout out to Melton Mind Media asking Black T, definitely join the Discord. That is where we are partying 24/7. That's right. Every single second we are having awesome conversations in there. And after every single live stream, we go in there for an after party where you're not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. Come and join us. If one of the mods could drop that link for our boy. And Stephanie Miller is new as well. You guys should definitely join. Speaking of Stephanie, she said, yeah, showing the documents was really dumb. Not to mention trusting a reporter. No way around it. That's the kind of stuff that's like, this is the kind of stuff that it's like, yo, I thought you were going to do better this time. And now you seem to be making the same kind of mistakes. Is that you? Hey, shout out to a Black T entered the chat in the Discord. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very, very excited to chat with you after this. All right. Facts, morality isn't exclusive to Christianity. I don't know where that came from, but I will always, always, always agree with that. All right, let's dive back in.
I did absolutely nothing wrong.
Okay, but let's get to my question. Why would you be holding up a newspaper saying this is still secret?
I'd have to look at it.
I could declassify it if I were president.
I would have to look at it.
But that's what
well,
you told
I could
Brett
have.
Baird. You told Brett Baird that that was a newspaper.
I could have
or a
declassified.
magazine.
No, I also told Brett Baird, as I remember, I don't know, it was a long time interview.
Will you tell me what were you waving around?
I also told Brett Baird that it wasn't a classified document.
What were you waving around in that meeting? Because it certainly sounds
I'm not
like
going
it
to
was
talk to you about that because that's already been, I think, very substantiated, and there's no problem with it.
It hasn't been.
No, it hasn't. Come on, Trump. This is, if you're so innocent, if this is just something you're allowed to do, then answer the question.
Substantiated. Jack Smith says
Megyn,
it was
let
the
me just
attack
tell you.
plan.
Let me.
And you told Brett Baird.
Let me tell you. Here we go again. I'm covered by the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do what I want to do. I'm allowed to have documents. The Presidential Records Act is civil, not criminal.
That's true.
In any way. It's
well. Wait a minute. But a civil offense is still a crime, or maybe it's not technically a crime, but it's still a wrongdoing by illegally.
Civil, and I'm covered by it 100%.
Can I ask you what you
and this
mean by
shouldn't
that?
even be a case. Now,
No, and I'm not.
Yep, I'm right there with you, Camcast. I was watching the Young Turks get salty in the 2016 elections when I was 16. I was a little bit older than 16 at the time, but yep, I thought they were a legitimate source of news. And maybe at that time, that was when they started to not be, or maybe they were bullshit from the beginning. I don't really know.
I'm not trying to come at you criminally. I'm trying to say.
Of course you are. But listen,
no, I started off by saying,
Megyn, let me just
it's not about the criminal.
This should be a case for Biden because he is not covered by the Presidential Records Act. This was, I guess, started because Richard Nixon kept documents. So did many other presidents. And so did presidents after. Bush kept documents. Obama kept documents. They all had, in fact, of all people, of all groups, the New York Times wrote a story. The only power that NARA has is to say, please, 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 Mr. President, can we have these documents?
The National Archives.
So Jess is saying, I thought woke progressive is pro you choose and not pushing religion. That's what they say. Well, that's bullshit because they just choose not to. They say not pushing an established religion. They just push their religion. And what is it? Wokeism.
Okay. Now, they may be able to sue you civilly, not criminally. They may be. They don't even have that power, probably. But they may be able. But
So
listen,
I get all that.
the New York Times.
I get all
wait,
that. But the
Megyn,
obstruction case isn't about that. The obstruction
ready?
case says,
So
so even if you had the right to the documents, once you get the subpoena, you got to fork them over. The
You ready?
subpoena said, give us anything with a
Are you ready?
classified marking. Go ahead.
I'm
This is
ready.
Just like the Mueller stuff. They create a fake crime, and then they say you obstructed. This is a fake thing that they've done. And then they say it's always obstruction. They say, oh, he obstructed, he this, he that. And you know what they call obstruction? When you fight them. When you fight them, they call it obstruction. So they create a fake crime because there was no crime, because I come under it. I don't want to sound boring to all of your many people. I hope you have a lot of people. You will. But you know what? They create
I mean, shout out. She's got fucking 1.5 million subs. I mean, I know that's not 79 million votes, but as a YouTuber who just crossed 2,000, 1.5 million is nothing to scoff at.
fake crime. And they did that with Mueller. They created a fake crime, a terrible fake thing that took 2 years. And then they said, all right, that's fake, but he obstructed. That's what they do here. They have a fake crime, and I didn't obstruct anything. Okay, next.
Yeah. So Stephanie is a tiny bit better of a person than I. She says, not fond of Trump at first either, but no part of my being would allow me to vote for Hillary. Trust me, I have said it over and over and over and over and over again that casting a vote for that woman was the most shame. And I this is on the context of me having been a drug addict for about 5 years. The most shameful thing I have ever done was vote for that woman. I just didn't know any better. And I can make excuses all the time. Jess is ready for him to answer the question. Yeah, you gonna keep waiting, girl. I I could beat myself up over it, but it was very obvious based on where I was and the information that I was getting that there wasn't really an alternative. Like there wasn't another conclusion I was going to come to. I had to go through that to learn, to be smacked in the face and realize how much they're actually lying in order to really see what it was. Camcast says, when Alex Jones confronted TYT, that's when I knew they were poor characters. That's a historic event. Yeah, that was a good one. Good one. So he said, I thought Trump was better than Hillary, more of a Democrat than Hillary, but I was sick of the uniparty. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that he was a lifelong Democrat, but he was still an outsider. He's still an outsider. I want to post. So you're guilty of a, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like he's kind of, just like, yep, I did it, but it was civil and everybody else does it. So well, let's get the fuck over it. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
Well, that was my question. That, even if I think they're accusing me of a fake crime, if I get a subpoena, I have to comply. I used to practice law for 10 years. You got to comply. You got to fork over the documents and then fight.
I have been complied with everything. I have given more documents, and they came in. They raided Mar-a-Lago, probably illegally. Okay, and we'll find that out. They took documents that they weren't even allowed to do. But they took documents. They took everything.
They found documents.
And I would have given it to them. You know what? We had a meeting. I said, what do you want? And instead of doing that, because they're doing this for political reasons, the reason they're doing this is for election interference.
But let me just say, I don't dispute that, frankly. But the question is simply, your lawyers signed a certification saying they had turned over everything that was responsive. Then when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, they found documents that were responsive that had not been produced.
Whoever, I mean, I think we're all kind of saying it, but yeah, like months ago, it's just hitting it like, yo, you're spending too much time on this. If you just say yes and move on, it's better than back. No, I didn't do it. Well, technically, yeah, I did that. So the fuck what? Did I make the country better? Did I put more money in your pocket? Did I get us out of wars? Did I start any new ones? Then what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know what the timing is. Again, I'd have to check
That's
the time.
it.
I don't know. I just don't know the timing. All I know is I'm allowed to have those documents.
But once you get a subpoena, you have to turn them over.
I know this. I don't even know that.
Do you know? What did he say? I don't even know that.
But once you get a subpoena, you have to turn them over.
I know this. I don't even know that because I have the right to have those documents. So I don't really know that. These are Democrat fascists that are there to interfere with an election. And frankly, you can't say that they obstructed when they create a fake crime. So ready? In Russia, it was a fake crime. At the end, they said, oh, well, that's not working. But he obstructed because he fought us. So they create a fake crime illegally. By the way, illegally. The dossier was fake. Everything was fake. Yeah. And then they say, I fought them and I obstructed.
Exactly. Stephanie's on point. Says, I wish he would calm down and realize she is on his side. He's so quick on the defense. He needs to work on that. And it's, I mean, in the sense that, they're going to be more just open interviews with general journalists, people who are not rooting for, I don't know specifically if Megyn Kelly wants to vote for Trump, but I know that she doesn't want to vote for the Democrats. So it's only going to get worse. So again, as we take a step back and think about where are we going to be in a year, if this is how you're starting off with people who are on your side, I see a lot of room for Vivek. Let's go, Vivek. Black T said it's insane how they attempt to dissect every fiber of his being, judging Trump from the way he climbs stairs to how he signs paper. Yeah, true. You know that. Hey, Steffi says 8 years clean. Cheers to that. Congratulations. That is nothing to scoff at all. Congratulations. I wish we could exist in a society full of actualized individuals, but that is not how humans are in mass numbers. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Indie says maybe the Democrats are pushing for open borders and free drugs for more votes from the compromised individuals.
Bingo.
Yup.
This is the same thing. They have a fake crime. There is no crime. In fact, it's civil. It's not criminal.
That's true.
And so
they're saying that's why they say Espionage Act to make it criminal.
oh, they make it
I don't even wanna-
Espionage Act like it's something
We'll be
like,
here all day if we
like
get
the
into all
Spanish Armada is going to raid us. And look, the Espionage Act of 1917 has no impact on this. I am covered 100%.
I got it. There's a dispute
One-
about that,
one thing
about
you-
whether the
well, you-
about
you
whether
can dispute it.
presidential.
You can
they're
dispute it.
just so my audience knows.
I don't think there's any dispute that I'm covered under the Presidential Records Act.
Well, you're covered, but it's not clear that it allowed you to take all those documents. You can't say
It
every
says
CIA
it says what it says. You're
So,
allowed. And
Do you believe that every CIA document that came to you as president was automatically yours to keep, no matter what?
Great question. Great question. Great question. Because that is a very pointed question. That it's not about this amorphous, well, the law says this, and technically if you do that, boom. You want to bring it down to a single point of this is what we're talking about. This is a singular thing, yes or no, and this represents exactly what we're talking about.
Do you believe that every CIA document that came to you as president was automatically yours to keep, no matter what?
I'm not going to answer that question
Well, so
because
that's the dispute.
No, because I think it's clear in the document. The Presidential Records Act was a very complex thing that took a long time to do, having to do more with Richard Nixon because he kept everything. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yep.
And they said, we don't want to have this anymore. So they did this. And these thugs and deranged people, they didn't even mention that. They never mentioned that. They never talked about that.
Oh my God, he just called every Democrat. I don't even remember what he said. But he just called them all that.
They never said, gee, the Presidential Records Act, do you know they don't even mention it? And everybody knows
Yeah, that's right.
that I'm covered by that. So you can't have obstruction when they create. And we had that in Mueller. They created all of these phony deals and phony documents and the dossier, the fake dossier. And after it was created, it was all created. Then it was shown to be phony and I won. But then they say, oh, it was phony. We did things illegally, but he obstructed. He obstructed because he hid this or he said something or he fought us. He fought us. No, I did, Megyn, I did.
Too much time being spent on this question. Too much time when you are not in a strong position. Like what you said, what you're saying, let's just say that what you're saying is completely right. Even people in your own base are either willing to just accept that based on the fact that you said it, or they're not really too sure. So if this is not a place where you can build confidence in your base, you need to just let it, yeah, that was in there, and move the fuck on.
Did absolutely nothing wrong. And that's, I wouldn't even be talking to you if I thought I did.
What's crazy is you're really accused of keeping documents and not turning them over when you were allegedly required to, but you're not accused of destroying any documents.
No, I didn't do that.
Hillary Clinton
them, or giving them to
Hillary
anybody.
Clinton destroyed documents while under subpoena, and wasn't even charged. Never mind, didn't
There you go. Yeah, all Democrats are thugs. Oh my God, the next headline.
face 4 criminal trials.
That's right.
Does it make you angry?
Yeah.
When I saw the mugshot, I said, he's angry, and I get it.
Yeah, that makes me angry. So Hillary Clinton got a subpoena from Congress, which is your highest style subpoena. That's the ultimate subpoena. After she got the subpoena, not before, she didn't do it before, and oh, gee, I didn't know.
That's right.
She got a subpoena. After she got a subpoena, she burned and acid washed 33,000 emails.
Whoa. According to the Snopes fact check, Hillary Clinton did not. False. Hillary Clinton did not pour acid on her computer. That's just a lie. Well, what's that? What? Acid watches not like with real acid. Oh, Snopes knows that, and they did that anyway.
Okay, and nothing happened to her. Nothing happened to her. And Comey got up, and he said, "Here."
Good point, Jess. Good point.
Here's what she did, and he went through all these crimes, and he said, "But no reasonable prosecutor would ever prosecute her." Well, I did nothing. I did nothing wrong, and they prosecuted me. She burned and literally acid washed, bleach bit, they call it. Very expensive process. Nobody does it because it's so expensive. Then she took her phones and they knocked the hell out of them with hammers. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
She took her telephones and they're knocking. and nothing happened. Yeah, there's a double standard in this country, and the people aren't standing for it.
I would love, David, are you still here? I would love to know why you think that she shouldn't be locked up, if that's what you believe. I'm just curious, what, because that is a very clear and obvious thing that she did. Now, what we're talking about with Trump is, not as clear, at least in the eyes of the populace. It's not as clear. So why, if it is your opinion, or anybody out there, if it is your opinion that Hillary did not deserve to be at least prosecuted, but you think Trump should be prosecuted, why the difference? Why the difference?
Yeah.
People get it.
You said to Hugh Hewitt you planned on testifying in your own defense at least the Mar-a-Lago documents.
All of them. I'll do all of them. I mean, I have no problem with talking about any of it.
I mean, it kind of sounds like you do, except for the one thing that we don't want you to talk about. Hey, shout out to Stephanie Miller becoming a member. Welcome to the Disciples. And of course, that comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you so much. That's right, guys. If you just join at the Disciple level, that's only $2.99 a month. You get special videos, special streams, and other perks that are only available to you. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Question on the legal expenses. Reportedly, your PACs have spent $40 million so far defending all these cases. Some people worry, how's he going to run a presidential campaign if all the Republican donations are going to fund the legal fees, which get more expensive when you have trials?
So, well, that's why they're doing this. They have, not only that, I have civil cases that are funded by them. They have a woman that I never met, other than I guess I took a picture with her 25 years ago with her husband on a celebrity line, a woman that I never met. And she sued me. She wrote a book.
Yes, definitely. You definitely got to join the Discord server. Even if you're new to Discord, we have a lot of people who are not familiar. We will take the time to walk you through it. It is a great time. Come and join us.
But I took her into Bergdorf Goodman into a room and did bad things to her. I said, where the hell did this come? I have no idea who this woman is. She got a little picture of herself and her husband standing on a big celebrity line, shaking my hand, like from 25 years ago. She didn't know the date. She didn't know the location. She didn't know anything. She didn't know anything. And an unbelievably hostile judge to me. In fact, she did an interview with Anderson Cooper. When you watch that interview, I'm a totally innocent man. But that case is financed, and you probably haven't heard this, by the Democrat Party and Democrats.
Obviously, it's financed by the Democratic Party. Like everything has been about taking down Orange Man Bad. Well, actually, so we didn't get Orange Trump in this interview. If we had Orange Trump, it's Kelly that would have got grilled. I think you're right. I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because aside from the, good chunk of 10 minutes where he was just saying, no, it's civil, it's not criminal. I did something wrong, but I did nothing wrong, but it's civil, but it's criminal, but it's not criminal. But aside from that, I think he's handled this pretty well, but it does not give me a lot of faith in his future. I think at this point, it's a matter of, can you hang on? Can you hang on to the base that you have? Because I think every time he opens his mouth, he's losing people. So far, he's losing people because he's either being fed things that are obviously very easy fluff questions and stuff, or he's doing what we just saw. And I don't think that's a good way to go about it. Now, hopefully, again, in the last week, somebody has been like, okay, you watch the game tape. You're like, okay, see this part, you went a little bit too long. See how we talked 11 minutes about that? We need to bring that down to 7. Like I said, I've been watching House of Cards, and I put up a poll on my community tab of which you guys think better depicts how politicians really are, whether it was House of Cards or Game of Thrones. And for those of you who've seen both, overwhelmingly said House of Cards. And so I just have that on the mind. And I know Frank Underwood would not have spent that long talking about whether it's civil versus criminal, but I did it, but I'm innocent, but the presidential, he wouldn't have done that. He would have moved it away. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.